I always draft my teams based on the philosophy, hey, I just got to risk it, And I think that this year I did that in both leagues.
Yep.
And if things had worked out, I more than likely would have cruised into the playoffs because AJ would have been back by
Yeah.
probably week 6, week 7,
Allegedly.
allegedly at least back by week 8 or 9. Obviously, the Browns or the Bengals didn't know what they were doing with their IR spot. It
Nothing.
was very misleading. That's
Very.
why I drafted him. But in general, I think what I would do next year, and something I've learned from this year, is really pad your lead early. And when I say that, I don't mean like don't sacrifice high upside guys if they're for sure going to be back in week 3. But if you can get an Austin Eckler who finished as a top 5 running back in PPR,
Yeah.
get an Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
And look at guys who have an early season schedule that's kind of a little easier and see if you can jump off to that 3-0, that 4-0 start because it makes your season so much less stressful.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then by the time week 7, week 8, week 9 comes around and you're starting to get playoff seeding figured out
Mm-hmm.
and you're starting to approach that trade deadline,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of in an advantageous position because there are going to be guys that are going to be desperate to win. You'll be hitting bye weeks. I had to do that this year. I
Yeah.
traded Devontae Adams because he was on a bye week. I traded Aaron Jones. I traded who else did I trade? I traded Dalvin Cook
Mm-hmm.
later in the season because I was like, okay, these guys have buys and I have to get a win this week.
Yeah.
Because I was desperate, this other guy ended up getting like my best players. And I got good value out of those guys.
Yeah.
But the other guy won the trade because he had padded his record early on. And so even though I
Yeah.
performed better in the playoffs, my mantra is like always get like, oh, you just have to have the best playoff lineup. If you pad your lead early, you can still create a path to that playoff lineup. And the draft isn't necessarily the best way to craft it. And I think that was my mistake this year and something I'm going to change moving forward.
Mm-hmm.